he shouldn't have. I wasn't.
All right. Heartland is a Canadian family comedy drama television series which debuted in Canada on CBC on October 14, 2007. The series is based on the Heartland book series by Lauren Brooke and follows Amy Fleming and her older sister Louise, Lou, Fleming on their family ranch in Alberta, known locally as Heartland, where they live with their widowed grandfather Jack Bartlett, their father Tim Fleming, and hired farmhand Ty Borden. While experiencing the highs and lows of life at the ranch, family bonds and grows closer over the years. We took a closer look at behind-the-scenes bloopers of the show. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Heartland bloopers. In this scene, Ashley, Cindy Busby, is talking into a mic held by Lisa, Jessica Steen, and she is saying, "We've had a lot of great showings this afternoon, but the writer-to-be is still Travis Den." She realizes she can do better. Let me do that again because that was horrible. In one scene, Ty, Graham Wardle, is saying, "We're done here, all right?" Amy, Amber Marshall, is limping. Obviously, she's acting like a horse had just thrown her. She says, "It was more my fault. Okay, you shouldn't have, I wasn't," and she loses her ability to speak. In another scene, Lou, Michelle Morgan, is speaking to Amy in a bar. They're walking and Lou is talking and saying something about someone seeming like a different guy, then she loses her way and forgets her lines. She kind of flaps her arms as she tries to remember her lines, and Amy asks, "In a good way?" Michelle points to her as she remembers her lines, and Michelle says, "In a good way." Peter, Gabriel Hogan, and Georgie, Alicia Newton, and Lindy, Ruby Spencer, are sitting around a fire in the daytime. Peter asks Georgie, "Do you like them?" before she bites into something, and she says, "Yeah, because my teeth are rotting." She bites into the food, and Hogan has to stop himself laughing. Ruby Spencer, however, keeps her composure. Amy and Ty are in a moment where Amy is saying, "It's a new beginning for us," and then leans in to kiss Ty, who's kind of looking away. She continues thinking he will reciprocate her kiss, but she ends it up kind of kissing the side of his mouth, and he kisses her, but now he's laughing and she's also laughing. She looks away saying, "Not working." The two actors hold each other while they continue laughing. Wardle walks away saying, "Let's just try again." There is another scene where the two are also supposed to kiss. Amy's already into the kiss before Wardle can finish his line. He kind of trails off and kisses Marshall. She bursts out laughing as he tries to finish his line and hold up a stepladder between her and the camera. Someone from the crew's talking out loud, and Wardle says, "Chris, you're awesome. I love that, man. That's great. You just kind of talk in the middle of it." It's probably talking to Chris Potter, who plays Tim Fleming. Behind him, Marshall is awkwardly putting down the stepladder and picking it up again as she continues to giggle. In this scene, Jack, Sean Johnston, is pulling a whole section of fence into place. He says something about, "What is it they say about," and then he realizes he's getting his lines wrong. He unceremoniously picks up the fence and moves out of the shot to do it all over again. Lisa is saying, "Well, she asked me for my help, and every idea I come up with, that's not really English, so I'm going to do that again," she says as she stumbles over the enunciation of her words. In the next scene, Chris Potter is saying, "I don't get it. You were just Roman riding in front of hundreds of people at the rodeo and taking on a jump app." Then his words turn to gibberish and he loses his wording. He kind of keeps talking gibberish as he walks towards the back of the set. Then he's back and a woman asks, "What was that all about?" And he says, "I don't know, something's wrong." One can hear police sirens in the background and she asks, "Is that why the police are coming?" Now Potter listens and tries to figure out if the police are really coming because the sirens are getting louder. This time Amy and Ty are standing in the stables and Amy is saying, "What is it? I think it's sweet. You bought me an anniversary present." As Wardle is saying his lines, he starts sneezing uncontrollably. Marshall seems like she's used to this and ducks out a shot with a laugh. Wardle keeps on sneezing and Marshall keeps on laughing. Seems like there are quite a few times when Wardle's sneezing interrupted his lines. He probably has allergies. In this one, an unknown man, maybe a member of the crew or an extra, is sitting and eating in the restaurant when he's approached by Lou, who says, "Excuse me, what have you got there?" He kind of shows his meal to her. She says, "Maybe you need a little mustard on that," and squirts mustard in his direction. But it's not real mustard, but rather a gag. The man gets a fright and Lou laughs. Horses are horses. Amy and Lou are out in the snow on their horses when Lou's horse decides to take a pee. The director calls action, but the horse simply keeps on peeing. Amy points out that the horse is just peeing, just a minute, and then he is still peeing. Then there's a scene where a woman is saying, "I can't wait." She tries to move off the set but moves around the wrong side of the table and realizes she cannot go that way, which means she has to turn around and walk back. The moment is lost as Ty laughs. Ty says, "I don't really know what happened on that take. It didn't really work out too well." Another one is a close-up of someone closing a case with medical equipment or something similar. The shot is supposed to show the person picking up the case and walking off, but the case bursts open and stuff falls everywhere. Then there's a scene of Amy struggling to tie off her horse. She gives up, laughing. An underrated and very funny scene shows Georgie in a serious moment, but her acting is interrupted by the German Shepherd on the set, who decides this is the perfect moment to lick her face. Off-shot, a woman bursts out laughing, and Georgie is all smiles. Behind the scenes of Heartland. Since we're kind of on the subject, let's look at some behind-the-scenes secrets of Heartland. Drinking in Alberta. The legal drinking age is set at 18 in Alberta, Canada, where Heartland is set. This explains how characters like Ty, Caleb, and Jade can drink alcohol without legal consequences. A growing problem of rising and overconsumption of alcohol, particularly among young adults just at the legal drinking age, has raised alarms in Canada. Since 2000 and the release of the Canada Low-Risk Alcohol Drinking Guidelines in 2011, the first such national guidelines, many Canadians have been on a mission to reduce alcohol consumption across the board. Much research has been done on how harmful even moderate alcohol consumption can be and the serious long-term effects on young adults ages 18 to 24 when risky alcohol consumption peaks. Heartland is actually a working cattle ranch in Alberta, Canada. The familiar Heartland Barn and Ranch House are all part of a working cattle ranch in Millerville, Alberta. We know from Roy Foster that his parents moved to the ranch in 1928 to raise white-faced Hereford cattle. Roy has many happy memories from growing up on the property with his two brothers. One of his brothers, Les, actually built the big red barn that appears on the show. Today, the ranch is privately owned and only the Heartland cast and crew have access. While you can't visit the real Heartland Ranch, you can swing by other filming locations in Millerville. A popular destination for Heartland fans is the Millerville Anglican Church that hosted Lou's wedding in Season 3. Not far from the chapel is the Millerville Farmers Market and Racetrack. This is where all the horse racing and rodeo scenes are shot. Place is open for visitors all year round, but a good time to visit is between mid-June and October, as this is when the farmers market is open. Mr. Haney did not know he was dead. According to an interview with actor Julian Richings, who played the minor supporting character Mr. Hanley, he was not informed when his character was written off as dead. Instead, he had been watching TV with his daughter and had randomly come across the aired scene where Mr. Hanley had been found dead, off-screen, by main character Amy Fleming. The show most likely wrote off the character because Riching was busy in other roles at the time of Heartland's filming. There must have been quite the moment, realizing you're dead when watching television with your daughter. You can only imagine what the next telephone conversation must have been like with the showrunners. How child labor laws in Canada influenced Lindy's role. The character of Lindy Borden is played by twins because of child labor laws. One twin works for a certain number of hours before she has to go home, and then the other twin takes over. Ingenious if you ask me, but also kind of ridiculous. When someone enjoys something, are they still working? That's the end of the video for today. What do you guys think about Heartland? Feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check back for our next video. Until then, stay safe.